everybody, this is Adam Everett Miller with aetuts.com, and I'm just doing a quick kind of an update on the previous tutorial. Just as a side note, St. Patrick's Day, just a couple days ago, pretty cool. What Irish thing do you put on your back porch? Patty o' furniture. Oh, so good. I just heard that joke today. I thought it was pretty funny, so I thought I'd share. Okay, wipe the tears out of your eyes, and let's just begin. There was a lot of comments that I saw which were really cool, and then I even had gotten some personal messages. And in regards to taking this basic effect and then animating it in 3D space, or animating it, to make it a 3D composition project. Okay. So, well, first off, let's create our new camera. New camera. 35mm is okay. And we need to make our, right as is, I hit C to go to the orbit tool, and right now my particles within the comp, you guys might already know this, but particular, even though it's a flat layer, the particles react to the comp's camera, so we don't need to mess with that at all. But the words are not. The words do need to be 3D, so we make sure that they're 3D enabled, and then in the orbit tool, then we can rotate around, and that's pretty cool. And as you're trying this might not be the effect that you're getting. You might be having a frustrating time. And a big reason for that is probably, well, I'll explain here. Let me switch over to Comp 2. If you recall, I also had this as an example. I had the New York Yankees logo. And recall when I brought it in, I had to scale it down. So right now we are currently at, if I bring up the scale, we're at 71%. This is the size of the layer. Okay. Well, for this example, I just dragged it right into the comp, and I applied the write-on effect, okay? So then when I go to apply particular this time, solid, okay, and I apply particular to that layer, well, let's go through the exact same settings, emitter, alt-clicking to my position, and then dragging down. Let's see, I think I might be on scale right now, so hold on one second. Let me bring up U for the brush position, and then pick whip down. Alright. In theory, I should have my trail going right there, but yet alas, look, that's a really frustrating problem. And the reason this is happening is because this is the size of the layer of particles, but it's reacting to the position of the emitter is directly parented to the position of the brush stroke, but the brush stroke is applied based off of this sized layer. So that's why it's getting all jacked up here. So what needs to happen is, before you apply the brush stroke, or before you apply the write-on effect, what you need to do is pre-compose the layer. That's what I think is throwing a lot of people off. I remember, I know that when I had initially started doing this, at one point I had struggled because when I tried to make it 3D, I'd rotate it, and that would offset the write-on effect. So then now it's not revealing the stroke, or the outline just like what I wanted. When I'd go to bring it into 3D space and I had my camera, I would try to rotate it, and for some reason the write-on wasn't being affected correctly, and all that comes into play if you don't pre-compose your image correctly. So before you apply write-on, make sure that you pre-compose, and by doing that, simply create a new solid. You can make it black, and then I'm gonna just get rid of the write-on. I know it stinks. Once you've done it here, there's pretty much no redemption. You have to get rid of it, delete it, bring it back down. Oops. Yeah, I know. I just messed it up. Sorry. It's looking for the write-on brushstroke. But take these two guys, and is this the one I have the effect on? No. Good. You take them, Control-Shift-C, pre-compose them, and then at this point you're dealing with a flat image, which is the comp size. At this point, apply your write-on, and then you can apply the particular, and it shouldn't give you any problems. That's why I think I had mentioned that in the previous tutorial, but I didn't fully explain why, and then people were having some issues with that. That's the basic principle behind it. I know at one point I had to apply the write-on to this layer, then duplicate it, pre-compose the one, and then leave the other one so that there was a reference for the particular, but leave it shut off so that the particular knew where to move, not like that, but where the emitter, so the emitter knew where to move, but it was looking at the pre-composed layer underneath. A lot of your problems are probably you're running into them because you're not pre-composing correctly. So just make sure that the write-on is being applied to a layer that is the comp size, no scaling involved anymore, and that when you go to apply particular, you're applying it to something. You have to always be working within the comp size. So that's just a quick update. I hope it did you well. And there's another tutorial coming out really cool very soon. So be prepared because it's going to be frickin' kickin'. Yes, it will be. So this is Adam Everett Miller with aetuts.com. I appreciate your time, and keep it on, or whatever a cool ending statement would be. I'll chat with you guys later. Bye.